Hospital Radio Haven.
Keeping you company, just when you need a friend.
You're listening to Terry Askew here on Hospital Radio Haven. We're playing you the hit records of 15 years ago, October 2001. Number 20, sliding down from 17, we heard the Superman Livers with Starlight. 19, sliding from 14, it was Love Me from Shaggy. And at number 18, slipping up from 21, Right Said Fred and You're My Mate. And speaking about mates, here's everyone's best mate. Bob the Builder is at number 17 on the UK chart, sliding down after being to number 1. But before we play the record, which is Mambo number 5, we go to the phones and we speak to one of the people behind Bob the Builder, actress Kate Harbour. Kate, hello.
Hello there, Terry. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Bob the Builder in the UK charts 15 years ago now. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
I know, it's absolutely incredible. But yes, I only had a small part to play in Bob the Builder, obviously. I was just an actress for a bit, character of Wendy and Dizzy and most of the female characters, really. But what a great privilege and how exciting it was for number 5 to be number 1. It was absolutely wonderful. I remember it very, very well. In fact, I seem to recall having a very large pilchard, you know, the cat.
Yeah.
The production company was so kind because I expressed an interest in having one of these stuffed toys, and they gave me one, and so I had that on my head. I seem to recall I've got a picture of myself with a glass of champagne and pilchard on my head going, hooray, number 5 is number 1. So yes, great memories, and I love the song. It's great fun.
It was. Well, Bob the Builder's still a pretty big TV series today, but 15 years ago when it first started, it was absolutely huge. I mean, people probably can't gauge how huge it was. When you started working on that programme, did you realise how big it was going to turn out to be?
No, I didn't, but I did know at the time that I was very excited about working with that particular company, but in fact, I wasn't first choice. Emma Chambers wasn't able to continue, I believe, and so they auditioned for people, and I just happened to do an audition, and I did it well, and there you go, that was it. That was my lucky ticket. So yes, no one really knew, but we knew we were onto something pretty cool in the first stages, because the camaraderie between all of us was just fabulous. We had a great time recording it, and yes, it was very exciting to be a part of.
I think Bob the Builder falls into the same sort of category as Postman Pat. Is that sort of TV programme. It gets a good cult following, and obviously it's still here 15 years on. We're still talking about it, and everyone remembers it fondly.
That's right, and the premise, I think, for that really is the stop-motion animation, which, of course, a lot of people do understand and know about now. That we are pretty good at that in this country, and long may it reign. But it's a lengthy process, and obviously they don't do Bob in that format now. They've had to move with the times a little bit, I think. And in fact, I'm not Wendy anymore, which I'm very upset about. But obviously, there's room for everybody. And yes, I just remember the golden days of Bob, which was the stop motion. We did do a bit of the CGI latterly, and that had its merits as well. But my personal favourite is the original version.
It looks better, I think. I've seen the more recent one, and I've worked in animation myself, and personally, it's not really to my taste. So, but we're dealing with golden oldies here. We're dealing with the how can I put it, the golden age of records as well as animation. So. We'll just chat about that. I'm sure that most of our listeners will be familiar with Bob the Builder, the TV series, but can you just remind people of what it was all about?
Well, yes. I mean, Bob, there he was. He would take a problem and fix it. Can we fix it? Yes, he can. And that was the big motto behind it, which I think actually Barack Obama used at one stage, which was quite a nice little doffing of the hat for that, but whether that was coincidence, I don't know. But the premise behind it was that he would build some fantastic buildings in the village and elsewhere, very much sort of community based, and the ethos behind it really was very much more sort of reduce, reuse, recycle, and that was the idea behind it, and that's sort of not really there specifically much now, but yeah, just constructing great houses for people to live in, and different problems around the village. Obviously, you know, teaching children really how to think about a problem and sort it out technology-wise, and all of the ideas behind it. And construction really is fantastic. I mean, I remember the wonderful little games that you used to get, just construction in general, certainly for boys, and for girls, of course, which is what they were suggesting there with Wendy, is that, it's for everyone. So the idea behind it is that you can do anything and you can build anything, and Wendy was right there with Bob doing that, building houses, building things that people needed, building schools and little parks and people, for people to play in. All the characters that were around it were, in fact, the machines. So you had things like Dizzy. Dizzy was one of my characters, and she was a cement mixer. So there was a talking cement mixer. So that was the lovely thing. And Pilchard the cat was there, and so it was a very nice little family-orientated setup, I think, which made it more accessible. So, yes, it's just really a program about building wonderful things and doing it in a great way. Being kind to your fellow man, really, is the deeper meaning behind it.
It was very educational, the programme, though, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, yeah. Certainly cover all the bases that you've got, which are to do with, the science behind things, the technology, the engineering. Yes, all encompassed in the whole one thing. And I believe they still cover those bases now. But, the reduce, reuse, recycle aspect of the golden age, as we should put it, was my favourite aspect of the whole thing. So not only is it just construction for big buildings, but it's construction and being conscious of the world around you as well. So, yes.
Very much so. Did the people behind Bob the Builder, did they actually get people from the construction industry as advisors in the show to tell them how things would be built, basically?
I would assume that they would have done, yes, because they were pretty fastidious with their research, and obviously they wouldn't do anything that you couldn't or shouldn't do on a building site. So yes, I would imagine they had some advisors, although I wouldn't know that on the end experience. Mine is just to interpret the part and give it what I can. So yes, I don't know the answer to that specifically.
But we'll probably guess that they did.
Yeah.
On Bob the Builder, you were dealing with machine characters as well as human characters. I mean, normally in animation you have human characters and maybe animals as well, but on Bob the Builder, as you say, you were the voice of a talking cement mixer. So
yes.
How did you approach that? I mean, a cement mixer isn't usually something which jumps about and bangs its wheels, which is what Dizzy does. She spins around on the back wheels and bangs the front ones together.
Yes, well, in anything really, with regards to animating voices, it really just comes down to the description of their character nature and their tempo. So, for instance, I knew that Dizzy, Dizzy, as the name suggests, she could be a little bit, a bit dizzy. Underneath that all, she's very, very excitable. She just loves to be involved with everything, and she wants to get about, and so we're given a character breakdown of the nature of the character. They've already mapped out what kind of character nature she should have, he or she should have, and so you just go by that. Really, it could be anything. So you come up with that, and then you look at the visuals and try and match the voice with the energy and the tempo with the visuals. And that's so I came out with something along the lines, goodness, I haven't done this for quite a while.
Yes, hello. I'm really excited about today because she's quite definite, you see. She really likes things. And she'd like to say hello to all the boys and girls, and I've been missing you, and yes, well, I can see you on DVDs now and again, but
so you see, the character just sort of developed from there, and I loved doing Dizzy. She was great fun to voice. She'd get stuck in and get it a little bit wrong now and again, but she'd always redress the balance afterwards.
Yeah, she was a little bit of a troublemaker at times, wasn't she?
Could be, yes. Yes, she'd put her wheel in it, as they say.
Well, Bob didn't remain a TV show for very long. It wasn't long before they started hitting the charts with pop records. Was music always a part of the programme when you originally started? Was music down there from the very beginning as part of the programme?
Well, music, I mean, I think we already, I think we did a few sort of songs within the show. I don't know what, the plan was. Maybe that was a plan all along, but certainly the track Paul Joyce composed was always there, so I suppose it naturally followed on. I mean, the recording of the number ones, I think we did the number one before we did the album, certainly. But the album that we recorded, goodness, I mean, that was the most extraordinary experience. We actually got to go to Abbey Road, for heaven's sake.
Brilliant.
And so there I was in Abbey Road recording Bob the Builder. It was an amazing experience. And in fact, I nearly couldn't do it because I'd lost my voice that day. But I discovered that pineapple juice helped me out. It's got something in it. I don't know. Don't ask me. Some sort of enzyme. But suddenly I had my voice back, so I was able to do it. But we had the most amazing time recording that album. And yes, it was pretty exciting to be a part of, yes.
So Bob the Builder's hits were recorded in the same recording studio as the Beatles?
Yes.
No, that's brilliant. That I think it must have been something in the air with the studio then that helped, as well as talent, of course, that was being recorded.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, no, it's just, my goodness, I loved it. And the kids really, really took to it, didn't they?
Oh, yes.
They just loved it, and because all the characters were brought to life, and the music was great, I thought.
I think the middle-aged kids took to it as well as the little kids as well.
Well, yes, I have to say, yeah, I did get that response, yeah.
Because in the Christmas charts for 2000, you held Eminem and Westlife off number one. You had the Christmas number one for the year 2000. That must have been quite a memorable Christmas for you.
Off the scale. I mean, really, it was just incredible. It just felt like a bit of a dream, really. I think I was at my father's house in Docklands at the time, and so we watched all the fireworks going off and all of that. Yeah, it would have been announced on New Year's Eve, wouldn't it? Is that right?
No, it was there for Christmas Day.
Was it Christmas Day? That's
yeah,
right.
it was there for Christmas Day.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, yeah, my brain's not, I can't really remember everything these days.
That's okay.
But yeah, it was fantastic to know of that. And just otherworldly, really, because it's not something you expect.
No.
We were very excited, and we couldn't quite believe the coup that would knock Westlife off the spot. But yes, that was quite something.
Yeah, and Eminem as well, which I don't think he was too pleased about, but that's the way it goes, doesn't it?
I don't know whether he'd forgive us, but yeah, I'm a bit of a fan of his, so...
Okay then. Well, I think what we'll do, originally we were going to play Mambo number 5, which was in the charts in October of 2001, but I think we'll also play the other record as well. We'll give it a double whammy.
Why not?
So do you want to introduce those two records?
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, we have Bob the Builder's Can We Fix It, which reached number 1 in the year 2000. And then following that, we have Mambo number 5, which reached number 1 in 2001.
Two number ones together. There are lots of bands and artists nowadays that would give their right arm to have two number ones.
Absolutely, yes, I know. We were very, very lucky, but we hit the nail right where it needed to be hit, as Bob might say, in fact.
Kate Harbour, thank you very much for agreeing to talk to us today. And
it's an absolute pleasure, Terry.
Can we fix it?
Yes, we most certainly can.
Thanks very much, Kate.
Bye, Terry.
Okay, then, bye.
Bye.
Lofty and Wendy join the crew. Bob and the gang have Wait a little. Okay, straight down. We can tackle any situation. Look out, here we come. Can we dig it? Yes. Can we build it? Yes. Can we fix it? Yes. Bob the Builder. Can we fix it? Bob the Builder. Yes, we can. Bob the Builder. Can we fix it? Bob the Builder. Yes, we can. Digging and mixing, having so much fun. Working together, they get the job done. Can we dig it? Yes. Can we build it? Yes. Can we fix it? Yes. Bob the Builder. Bob the Builder. All together now. Bob the Builder. Can we fix it? Bob. Yes. Yes. Bob the Builder. Can we fix it? Bob the Builder. Bob the Builder. Can we fix it? Bob the Builder. Yes, we can. We'd better get some work done.
Hello, this is Bella from the Tweenies, and you're listening to the greatest songs of all time on Hospital Radio Haven.
Yes. I'm a bit scared. Okay, team, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody's outside, so come on, let's ride to the builder's yard around the corner. The gang's all here, and it's time for us to do what we wanna. There's a house with a roof that leaks. It's an urgent job, and it could take us weeks. There's Dizzy, Lofty, and Rolly too. Wendy always knows just what to do. And there's no job too big or small. With scoop and mud, we can do it all. Metal, brick, or wood, it's all good, and we can always send in the tractor. A little bit of timber and a saw. A little bit of fixing, that's for sure. A little bit of digging up the roads. A little bit of moving heavy loads. A little bit of tiling on the roof. A little bit of making waterproof. A little bit of concrete mixed with sand. A little bit of Bob the Builder Man. Careful, Dizzy. Jump up and down and move it all around. Mix it up to the sound. Dig a hole in the ground. Take one step left and one step right. And one to the front and one to the side. Clap your hands once and clap your hands twice. And if it looks like this, then you're doing it right. A little bit of timber and a saw. A little bit of fixing, that's for sure. A little bit of digging up the roads. A little bit of moving heavy loads. A little bit of tiling on the roof. A little bit of making waterproof. A little bit of concrete mixed with sand. A little bit of Bob the Builder Man. Mambo number 6 and 7, 8.
Is this Mambo number 5?
What's a mambo? Tractor.
That's a lovely job, Bob.
A little bit of timber and a saw. A little bit of fixing, that's for sure. A little bit of digging up the roads. A little bit of moving heavy loads. A little bit of tiling on the roof. A little bit of making waterproof. A little bit of concrete mixed with sand. A little bit of Bob the Builder Man. There's Rolly, Lovely, Scoop, Mop, and Lizzy. So much work to keep us all busy. Can we fix it? Yes, we can. With the team and Bob the Builder Man.
Yes, they can. You think I've got a future in music then?
A little bit of timber and a saw.
Gets me all excited.
A little bit of concrete mixed with sand. All right. Lovely. A little bit of Bob the Builder Man.
Hospital Radio Haven.
Keeping you company, just when you need a friend.